Malik D, your financial credit guru, the hitmaker, the score. Fox Soul's #1 financial literacy podcast. I'm here today with my co-host, tax accountant, economist, Dan Green. Also, special guest today, Brian Gregory from the automobile industry. Very good topic, very good discussion that we're going to be speaking on and spitting on today to give you guys some level of form of freedom and culture. And if you don't know what freedom and culture is, it's game. So, Brian Gregory, pleasure to have you on the show, The Score podcast. Wanted to actually go straight forward to dive deep into the conversation about the automobile industry and the changes that have taken place in the automobile industry and some of the do's and don'ts that the average black and brown community need to be properly embraced and informed on so they won't end up crashing when it's time to go purchase an automobile loan. But a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Malik. Thank you. One, I'm going to start off with one word: energy. It depends on your body energy. Like when you're going into these dealerships and, you're automatically excited about obtaining your next vehicle.
Right.
Bring it down some.
Don't come in all cocky and like you know everything.
Don't come out cocky like you know everything. One, if you know everything, keep that. Because the guy that doesn't give out all this information in front of everyone, guess what?
Wow.
He's winning, right? So I say that to say, in this industry, I've noticed, where I work currently here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm
Absolutely.
at Carolina Auto Imports.
Carolina Auto Imports.
They come and see me. They want a luxury vehicle. Boom, that's what I sell. So a lot of people, you'd be surprised, they'd almost give their firstborn for one. That's a joke. But realistically, I always tell people that, there are certain things that you want to do and not do when looking into obtaining your next vehicle, especially if you are going to be financing that car.
Okay.
So, where do you want me to start with this?
Credit-wise, when an individual is coming in to purchase a luxury vehicle, what are some of the requirements based upon some of these different lending financial programs dealing with the banks in the automobile industry that these underwriters look for, these credit unions look for, these commercial banks look for, because there's many different lender institutions that you guys deal with in these automobile industries upon trying to get the individuals the right and the correct and the doable rates.
So with that being said, I'm going to start with the application process.
Okay.
A lot of times people will go in and we will basically apply for a vehicle. We somewhat have a little bit of knowledge of the car that we want to get.
Yes.
And what'll happen is we'll get so excited that, we just fill out this application. It's asking about job time. It's asking about your residential time. Be very careful when doing this, because if you're still in the shopping process and you're not going to shop with merchant A, you're going to the car dealership C or D or E down the road.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're using the same exact information, because you may be working with a lender at dealership A. They've gotten a great approval for you. Mm-hmm. Well, now, you're thinking, maybe I can get something even better. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me try dealership C. Let me see if I put this down. Now it's going to start changing up. Here it is, your stipulations. Every finance company has stipulations in which they want you to provide for them to provide you an auto loan. Mm-hmm. With these stipulations, of course, some people may be able to waive a lot of them. I've seen this happen, of course, when you have a better credit score.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Any score usually over 640, a lot of your stipulations can actually be waived.
Oh. How so?
Crazy, right?
You got to see. Yeah, it's
that sounds
crazy.
Like I've seen people with a 480 not even have to provide income.
Wow.
Yes, and I actually sell cars.
480?
People with have a 480. 480. So very serious.
But
no cosigner.
But
Ooh, I didn't even know 480.
But they're getting their ass lit up with the interest rate.
Oh, that's when they're going to need to come see you, Malik. They're going to need for you to help them break them chains. I promise you, because I'm going to tell you something. They're about to be in bondage to that car and that payment.
Yeah.
So the car costs this time.
Dude, let me tell you something. I'll show people deals all the time like, hey, let's look at this car. It's $35,000.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you get approved. Oh yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I got this. I don't need no cosigner. I'm gonna put down less money. Okay, we'll put down less money. But what changes everything is the CLTV. I'm about to break this down, guys.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
CLTV, collateral loan to value.
Wow.
That is how your interest rate, that's a big decisioning of your interest rate, what you're going to receive. Most people don't understand, well, why I got to put down money? That's only $20 or per thousand. Guess what? If you have it, put it down. You're paying for your item in full.
Wow.
The closer and the more money that you put into it, it's becoming
skin
yours.
in the game.
So realistically, I tell people, if you want the best interest rate, you want less questions asked about your personal business, come with some money.
Wow. So the bigger,
The larger your down payment, it's not helping us out at the dealership. It's helping you out.
Right.
Because you're still paying for what you're trying to obtain.
Exactly. It's almost like paying down points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's Malik, I told you, this is your guy. Listen, he's going to drop jewels. He's dropping jewels. Please pay attention, people, to this.
Well, when you're dealing with our community, the black and brown community, it's like you really got to use different formats and different mechanisms in order to try to penetrate. And that's what the show is about, the Score Podcast, to try to give freedom and culture. And if they don't understand what freedom and culture is, it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's information to keep our community informed so they won't end up, like I stated before, making the wrong decisions and end up buying a car and they end up paying on that car for the next 15 to 20 years.
Literally, because guess what? If you don't pay for that car and it gets repossessed and it's in charge-off status on your credit, you're now married to that loan for 7 years after that repossession, 7 to 10 years. Your loan could have only been for 60 months. Like you said, 15 years you're married to that car loan.
Exactly.
Now.
And you guys have different terms and stuff like that based on the financing part as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's the typical credit score that needs to be in effect for a person to get a pretty decent, good interest rate upon buying a luxury vehicle from Carolina Auto Imports?
That's a loaded question because I have, another bulletin point that I was going to discuss.
Go ahead.
Talking about, I've submitted my application. Why didn't I get the results or term that I wanted? Okay, it depends on the year of the car. It depends on how much income you're making, how much of a risk you are as a borrower from that finance company. The finance company is going to look at you, and that could be a credit union, a bank. I'm using finance company as a general term, an umbrella. So with that being said, the finance company is going to say, the car is this amount, your last loan was this amount, or your last loan didn't go, I see you missed a couple payments, but you paid it off. There's some lenders that won't even lend you money if you miss a payment and even pay your account off.
Wow.
I won't name those lenders.
Right.
And we all know why.
Yeah.
But long story short, I've seen lenders like if you've had a repossession and guess what? You've got things together 7, 8, 10 years later.
You still get penalized for it.
They will no longer even want to offer you financing.
Wow, because of your prior history that you had and your prior relationship that you had with the other financial institution that you didn't honor and obligate that agreement that you had as far as having a repossession on that credit report.
And I'm first to, be the advocate for all the consumers. I feel for you. It's not fair because things could have happened.
Right.
They could have provided you a rate that wasn't safe for your finances.
Right.
And, you needed a car, you accepted that rate and thought it was going to work out and it didn't. But getting back to submitting the application and you're not getting the result, you may have a 780 credit score. I'll give you one better, 800 credit score. There you go. That's like the dream.
Yes.
That's like perfect.
But it's a lot more that goes with that.
Oh, this is where, once again, Malik is going to drop some jewels on you guys. But you have an 800 credit score, and you have 3 credit cards with a total of a $1,500 line. 3 credit cards of $500 each. I'm just going to throw that number out.
No
You
debt.
paid your credit cards on time,
But no debt.
but you have never had an auto loan. You're considered a first-time buyer.
So by you not having any type of form of established auto credit, they're going to treat you like a first-time car buyer because you're not showing any history that you ever had an auto loan finance. Let's take a quick break real quick.
Absolutely.
The School Podcast so we can jump right back into it. We got to pay some bills.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the school. We got Mr. Brian Gregory over here from the automobile industry. Like we were stating before we had to go to commercial break, that lenders will still treat you like a first-time car buyer if you don't have any type of established auto credit on that personal credit report.
Absolutely.
Then with them treating you like a first-time car buyer, we know by us being in the industry that you're going to get a higher interest rate.
You're going to get a higher interest rate. You may not be able to get that top of the line luxury automobile that you want.
Right.
You may have to start with car B, plan B for the car that you really don't want, but it's a bigger picture.
So you
If you're
basically
driving for 12 months.
You basically coming on the lot to purchase the Benz that you seen, that the Benz got your attention, but you end up driving away in a Chevrolet.
Or you might leave in that Nissan, and there's nothing wrong with those cars.
I mean, you got to
But
start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. The point is to not have you sitting here waiting at the bus system, because in Charlotte, North Carolina, our transportation is a bit sketchy.
That should be decided. Yeah.
So, but long story short, you can have that 800 credit score,
Yes.
500, 3 credit cards, no installment loan, no auto history. Banks would rather see you have a repossession than no auto history, because they don't know how you are going to pay them.
Because the reason why he said banks would rather see you with a repossession, without, with the individual not having any installment credit as far as auto credit, because at least you had an automobile loan that you did finance with a
some
financial institution, and you did show some type of payment history on that repossession. And like Brian was stating, who knows? Things happen, circumstances take place. But at the same time, if the bank sees that, depending on what lending institution that you running that person through that has those different type of stipulations, then they can waive certain things because they still see an automobile loan there, because even though it has a repossession versus you not having any auto credit, period. So with that repossession being on that credit report, they'll still go ahead and do business with you, and you might still be able to get that Benz versus that Nissan or that Chevrolet. Am I right?
Absolutely. I see it every day. That's why, when you pause, when I told you 480 credit score,
Yeah.
I see it. I see 800s. I see 820s.
Do you actually have people looking in the luxury car market with those lower scores?
Absolutely.
That's incredible. It's kind of like paradoxical.
Champagne. I mean,
You have to look at it.
Yeah.
And I look at the situation like having champagne taste with Bill Money.
Yeah.
You got champagne
That's basically
taste,
what that is.
but you got Bill Money when you walking in there with a 480 credit score.
I'm warming them up, y'all.
Listen, wanting the biggest thing off the lot. You got a hell of an appetite. Champagne taste with Bill Money. You want the luxury vehicle, but you're walking in there with a 480 credit score. And you're expecting to walk off the lot with a decent interest rate plus the luxury vehicle that got your attention.
The funny part is, yes, it happens. I sell
And you would know.
you will pull off in that Mercedes Benz, and I'm like, wow, your interest rate
It's off.
is more than what the car was selling for. But you wanted that Mercedes Benz, and you got it.
You got it with a 480 credit score. But
you
now,
want to take the time, go 12 months. Once again, break into this book.
listen, guys.
See what you need to do. Seriously, this is not even just me
Absolutely
plugging this book, guys.
insane.
This book is amazing. I promise you. It has blessed me and my finances.
Wow.
I promise
I
you
appreciate
guys.
that, Brian.
So seriously.
I appreciate that. You guys go to www.malikdavis.com. Retain the Fast Track Credit Restoration Service Program. If you got any credit-related issues, go through the service. Invest in yourself to get your credit back in a good standing. Trust me, you go ahead and you retain the services of www.malikdavis.com. The Fast Track, we don't miss. We're going to produce that credit hit for you. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm not trying to twist your arm to make you retain my services. Hey, it is what it is. My track record speaks for itself. I got over 19,000 clients out there. I've been in the business for almost 30 years. And my quotes match my words. And people around the United States of America knows who Malik D, your financial credit guru, the hitmaker, is. If you can't afford the Fast Track service, credit restoration service, purchase the book. Break the Chains with Credit Tips and Secrets. Break the Chains with Credit Tips and Secrets. And this book right here is going to show you how to start the process of restoring your credit on your own. Break the Chains with Credit Tips and Secrets, available on Amazon. Purchase it. The yellow book is Break the Chains with Business Credit Tips and Secrets. Purchase that book as well if you can't afford the credit restoration services at www.malikdavis.com. And if you're interested in retaining the services, send us an email, support, SUPPORT, at malikdavis.com. Retain the services. We'll get your credit back where it needs to be so you won't have to walk onto a car lot or a car dealership with a 480 credit score, getting that luxury vehicle, but then riding off regretting the payments down the road because you're going to end up losing it and it's going to end up getting repossessed from you.
Oh, I see it all the time. And then it's like, I'm like, I remember this person. I sold you this. And I'm thinking, you got anything that's like $5,000 on the lot?
Wow.
Like, wow. You came in with $6,000-$7,000. You could have put that down on that $5,000 car, cleaned up your credit, got this book, done what you needed to do, and I promise you, you would have been, heck, you might not even be stopping at my facility. You may be stopping in, on Independence to get a brand new
Exactly. At a more bigger dealership.
At a larger dealership. Exactly. My thing is, stop limiting yourself. If you want a nice car or whatever the case may be, okay, you can get a nice pre-owned car.
Right.
But by the same token, make sure you're doing what you need to do credit-wise, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation of having a $800, $900 payment on a used car that was less than $70,000, $80,000.
Wow.
I see people with $800 payments on a $35,000 car, which it should not be.
Wow.
But that's what they wanted. They wanted to pull up and, as they say, stunt for everybody. Well, now you got it.
Looking good for the neighborhood. They want to look good for the neighborhood.
Why? Please tell me why.
Looking good for the neighborhood, but can't even afford the damn car.
Literally.
Got another question for you. I know you guys provide this type of services over here at Carolina Auto Imports as well, here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Do you guys actually put special orders in for clients that want a specific type of luxury vehicle with all the specs and all the bells and whistles to it?
Awesome question, Malik. First of all, let me tell you, if it's a certain car that you want and you don't want to overpay for it,
Yes.
I promise, come to 4015 North Tryon Street, come see me.
No.
Carolina Auto Imports.
You can see the general manager, Amin. We're going to do our best. Matter of fact, we're going to exceed your expectation.
Wow.
Look at our reviews. And I mean, I can't make those reviews.
And I've been dealing with, and listen, we've been knowing these guys over here at Carolina Auto Imports for over 20 years.
Exactly.
I know. I mean, I know the owner's pops. I've been knowing you guys. I mean, I've been knowing you. I mean, we do a lot of business together.
Absolutely.
A lot of my clients come over and purchase vehicles from you guys.
I did.
I mean, hell, even Dan went over there and purchased a vehicle. Hell, I done purchased like 10, 15 vehicles from him.
A whole fleet.
But guess what? When I come in there, I make sure I come in there correct.
Let me tell you something. Very easy to work with. And you know why? He knows what's expected.
Exactly.
He's not going to walk into a dealership and be surprised at I got a 700 score.
Yeah.
I have an 800 score. Okay,
Yeah.
well, have you ever financed a car before? No.
You gotta have some type of form of established auto credit, or
Absolutely.
if you have any type of repossessions on there, they have different lending institutions
Absolutely.
that can, that they can plug you guys up with. But just know and understand, even with a repossession on that credit report, you are going to drive off that lot with a high interest rate. So it makes all the sense to get your credit discrepancies corrected on that credit report, so you can walk in there with more purchasing power and more stronger to deal with you guys and deal with the lending institutions, so the process won't be that long. Also, what about inquiries? When when individuals come in there as though they've been shopping around, what kind of effects that has on the consumer?
And that goes back to revisiting my very first statement when I say, if you're going to shop with A, B, C, D, and E dealerships, one, make sure you're using the correct information that you're providing with company A all the way down to company E. Because if you go changing up your story, it's notated. That next dealership may deal with the same financial institution that we're going to deal with.
So you to bump heads.
And then we're like, well, you just said 10 minutes ago that you made this much money and you lived here for this many years and this is where you worked and this many years. Make sure your story is consistent.
So when you guys actually run those individual credit reports on there, how many inquiries can they have within a certain time frame? Hold that response. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the school, Brian. Back to the question about the inquiries. on individuals' credit reports, and how many inquiries does it actually, that you guys look for within a certain time frame to determine if that person been shopping around for credit, and how basically it affects them in the financing process to purchase an auto loan?
So surprisingly, at our dealership, I don't care if you have 1,000 inquiries. I have an established relationship with all of my lenders.
Wow.
Malik's looking surprised. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Guys,
Wow.
and listen, if I'm saying it, I can definitely back it up on paper.
Wow. So inquiries don't even matter.
It matters, but it doesn't matter. It's going to matter with the financial institution, not with us at our
Not with
dealership.
you guys, it's the dealership itself.
Exactly.
Got you.
Now,
But with the finance department.
if
and
you're
the
going
lenders.
with certain credit unions frown upon that, because it's like you're begging everyone for money. And obviously, you don't have this many established lines that you've been begging for, or none of these have come to fruition, these inquiries. Now, it's like, if they didn't give you money, why should we?
Right.
And then now, a lot of them, they'll decline your application for too many recent inquiries. Keyword is recent.
Recent. And that means within a 30-day time frame, basically.
30 to 90 days.
Wow.
They want to see what has happened, because a lot of times it takes, in the event that you are going to obtain credit, it takes a good 35, used to be 60 days. Y'all done got slick now.
Yeah. It used to be.
You can go buy 2-3 cars in one day, but
Yeah.
no.
Oh, they didn't crack down with the stipulations on that?
Oh, let me tell you, those new account reopening, you get that notification very quickly now.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, for my people that like to have multiple fleets, you want that, super celebrity driveway of cars and everything.
Yeah.
Just be in position to really obtain it. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're going to do it the right way. Yeah. But back with the inquiries.
Yeah.
Too many keyword recent inquiries will get you declined with a credit union. Credit unions typically going to have the best interest rates.
Right.
Now, I do have some auto finance companies that are extremely, extremely, they're doing, guys, y'all ready for this? Up to 145% of value.
Really?
145% of value? That's incredible.
On an automobile loan?
Guys, let me tell you something. I'd be sitting at my desk like, darn, did that really just go through? No, let me check this. Let me print out the required, funding policy sheet for the dealership. It really did just go through. 145%.
Now, I take it they have to have excellent credit. I mean,
Absolutely not.
But the interest rate is going to kill them. What are the interest
There
rates?
you are. You just said it.
I mean, they'll let them ride off that. They'll let them ride off that car lot with that.
18.9%,
Wow.
15.9%, and people don't understand that, when you're
Man.
seeing these types of rates, I can swing it. I put extra on it every day. Guess what? You're going to want to buy that extra bag at the mall. You're going to want to take that extra trip or go to that restaurant 2 more times that month, or,
Exactly.
go and see this show. Or else just plan for, just plan for the future of saving. Always underbuy, people.
Right.
Let me give you an idea. You could pull up an S-Class Mercedes on my lot. I'm happy to see you come off the bus. Because I know that you have a goal to not get back on that bus
Exactly.
while leaving my lot.
Exactly.
You pull up in that S-Class Mercedes, that's for sure. I sell those. That's not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you
So-
sell all kind of luxury
Thank you.
vehicles. I mean, I done seen. I mean, we done got plenty from you, and I done
Literally.
seen plenty of them on your lot. I mean, and even some of my celebrity clients. I
Exactly.
mean, hell, I even got them financed over there with Carolina Auto Imports. With me being a dealer, I actually go get the vehicles myself for the client. Once they put their request in with me, I go to the auction and get the vehicle.
One
Make
of the
sure-
great concierges ever, guys. Right there. You're looking
I
for a nice
appreciate it.
vehicle. He's going to be knowledgeable about credit. He's going to be knowledgeable about cars and credit just go together.
Go together hand in hand. I actually go to the auctions and get what the consumer wants. Boom, have it on the lot, deliver it on the lot. These guys do the financing piece for me. They get the financing done for the client. I make sure my client is straight, credit-wise, so they don't have to walk off that car lot with a high interest rate. And the terms that's going to be rolled over into that financing with that vehicle is going to be in a great space where it needs to be, so their payments can be super low.
And that's what it's all about. If you really want the flex, a low payment. That's the
yeah.
real flex.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'd rather take that, smaller body Mercedes or smaller body BMW or Lexus and have that smaller payment
exactly.
versus me trying to impress everyone and pull up in this big body and Next thing you know, I'm struggling to put gas in it. Gas go to $5. I'm scratching my head, wondering what I'm gonna do.
Let me ask you this question, because once again we're dealing with the black and brown community, and you already know how our people can be sometimes in our community. People always try to be nickel dime slick, coming in trying to reinvent the wheel, to try to finagle and weasel and wazzle to come in and get something for nothing. And I know you see that too.
I promise.
I mean, in my business too, individuals do try every once in a while to weasel, wazzle to get something for nothing because they think they got all the sense. Now, the question that I want to ask you is about these individuals, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this term or this vocabulary that I'm getting ready to use, which is CPN numbers.
Stay at home with us. Don't even waste my time. First of all, I'm going to ask you, where are you born? Let me give you guys an idea. I've worked 7 years in corporate banking. Last 4 of the 7 years, fraud.
Wow. You worked in the fraud department.
Fraud department,
Gotcha.
very much so. And I'm talking about real large movements of money, not, I tell people, not little car money, credit card, $2 scam. You won't even see me for the department that I work.
Wow.
The point I'm making is I'm very knowledgeable of numbers. There's a system out here, it's called LexisNexis.
We talked about that on a prior podcast interview that we do. These systems like LexisNexis, SafeScan, and all
This system
of that.
will tell you how many times you've been pulled over for an expired license plate.
Wow.
It'll tell you how many times you were late to high school. Your whole life is in that system, literally. So when you think you're going to pay $1,500 and come up real quick, or $500 and come up real quick with that CPN that's going to give you a $2 million home and 2 Bentleys, and good luck. Because before you pull off that lot, sorry, sir, this is not working out. Actually, your driver's license number did not match your Social Security number.
Yep.
All your credentials have to match up with the prefixes of the Social Security number that you actually was issued. Like I said, when these people go to these car dealerships, especially from our community, because they always trying to reinvent the wheel. And I'm not and I'm not trying to to basically shit on my community or anything like that. I'm just calling it what it is. I mean, in our community, we are always take a good situation and we are always turn it into shit.
I want everyone to win.
And that's the whole point.
It's straight up. You come see me at my lot. First of all, this is probably more dressed than you'll actually see me at my office lot. And I'm actually a manager. So for me to usually have on a T-shirt, some jeans, I'm bringing it down. I want to show you, listen, we're going to write this out. This is what you need to be doing. This is what's going to happen. This is the next process. Now, can you do this? X, Y, Z, guys, there's so much I really want to go into, but I know I'm on limited time.
Yeah.
But listen. Come to 4015 North Tryon Street, Carolina Auto Imports. We're going to make it happen. If it's a certain car that you want, don't be caught overpaying for it. There's larger names out here in the industries that sell, 200 million cars or whatever, but you don't get to negotiate your price.
Wow.
You may be off by $18 off the sales price, and because that dealership has what you see, what you pay pricing, you're declined.
Let me ask you another question about the credit piece. When you guys are doing the applications, you actually run that credit check. What are you guys? I mean, I know one of the things what you guys is looking for is established auto credit. I get that. But what are some of the other factors like derogatory accounts or things like that? Do you guys factor that in too?
So I'll look at that. Now, keep in mind, we don't grant credit at our facility.
Right, but you do an analysis.
I'll analyze it.
Yeah.
If I can't get what I'm wanting from the lender. So if I submit your application, I'm going to send it to one lender, maybe 2 lenders.
So you're not going to shop them around?
No.
Because that's when you accumulate all those inquiries.
All those inquiries, and once again, too many recent
inquiries. That's right.
Will have you sitting, looking lost, and
they'll decline that application because they're looking at you like you out here shopping.
Exactly. They want you to get a loan and sit down with it, and let's see what you're going to do for the next 9 to 14 months. Really, people think that 6 months is enough. No. Car salesmen will tell you that all the time to get you on the car. I tell people, drive it for a year. Really 14 months, because it may take up to 2 months, 60 days for that auto loan to even show up on all 3 of your credit bureaus.
Let's take a quick break. We got to pay some bills. We'll be back to school. Welcome back to the school, Mr. Brian Gregory.
Yes, sir.
Let's take off from where we started from. With the commercial break.
Absolutely. So, when we were talking about people just, getting the inquiries, and once you get your loan established, I tell people, a lot of salesmen, they'll go and tell you, oh, just drive for 6 months and come back and see me. No. Let me tell you something. Drive that car for about 14 months and then look at maybe wanting to do something else, because it may take 2 months for that car to even show up as a trade line on all three of your credit bureaus. That's
Exactly.
TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax.
Exactly.
Those companies are reporting your life. Pay that payment on time. Pay it early. You will not be penalized for paying it early. I promise you. If you're penalized, come see me. I'll help you.
Let me ask you a question about what some finance companies, as far as like the lenders look for in the process of an individual purchasing a vehicle. What is it that they looking for specifically?
Okay, guys, so I'm in North Carolina, right? I don't know what the state laws are everywhere. However, I sell cars everywhere. People online. My best clients have been online, clicked, few purchases, FedEx a check or down payment, whatever, sent the application. In North Carolina, a lot of people were like, oh, well, you got to have a driver's license to buy a car. If you have a state ID, I have 3 lenders that I work with that. A state ID, no license, but you'll need to be able to obtain what? Auto insurance.
All right.
Okay.
You have to protect what they're financing.
Yeah.
They don't care about whether you're driving illegally or not. That's not their business. They want to make sure that you're protecting what they're financing. Main thing, ID card, driver's license.
And it could be in a whole nother different state.
You can be in a whole nother state because there's a DMV form for the state of North Carolina if you're residing here
Yes.
that will actually submit to the Department of Motor Vehicles for you to get that car registered and still have that identification.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So clients can purchase luxury vehicles from you guys
Absolutely.
all over the United States as long as they have a valid ID. It don't have to be a North Carolina state ID. As long as they got some type of verification of an ID or driver's license.
Absolutely. State ID or driver's license. Here, check this out, guys. Just sent a car, never met the client, to Seattle.
Wow. Wow. And
Seems like
and
this.
then what they have to do from that point is just get some type of proof of insurance in order
insurance.
to in order
Exactly.
to okay, got you.
So your proof of insurance, that's the next thing, guys. When you come in and you're buying a car, be in position to obtain, I call it complete coverage insurance. That's going to be your collision as well as liability insurance. You have to have that in order to pull off a lot with a
the
car that is
financing.
being financed. And if you allow your insurance to lapse, guess what? That finance company, this is another one, guys. This is a whole nother show. Your finance company can actually reinsure that car themselves internally and make sure that their car, if something happens to it, is going to be paid off. However, you're still responsible for the loan.
And that's why they have gap insurance. I mean, no, the gap insurance is when you get into an accident and it only covers a certain portion of that loan, and then they leave the rest of it out there hanging as gap insurance for you to pay, right?
So for the listeners and people that are watching that don't know what gap insurance is, it's
Right.
guaranteed asset protection. That means that, guess what? If you finance $20,000 on this car and you go down the street and, Lord forbid, something happens to it and it's a total loss, and your insurance company only wants to give you $15,000 to pay off your loan,
Right.
you are still left with a deficit of what? $5,000.
So, wow.
That guaranteed asset protection, aka gap insurance, will pay that. Yes, you want that. It only makes your payment go up $8 to $12. Depending on that interest rate, could be $17.
It would be something that these people,
Absolutely.
that these consumers or these clients that want to purchase these vehicles to get that gap insurance.
Guys, get that gap insurance if you don't buy an extended service agreement. Get that gap insurance. Because long story short, you want to protect that loan. You're paying to protect that loan is what it is.
Now, when these individuals that's in different states want to purchase a vehicle, and I'm pretty sure Carolina Auto Imports, because I have seen you guys do your due diligence like no other. When an individual's in a different state and they want a specific type of a luxury vehicle, what about the Carfax? I mean, break that down, because I mean, when individuals get a car, they don't want to make sure that it's unibody damage up under the car or corrosion up under the car. If they're purchasing the vehicle from another state, they looking at the external part of the vehicle. It's
all good, right?
Yeah, like it's all good, and then when you actually get the vehicle and then you start driving it, then you start having all kind of complications with this vehicle. So, what's the purpose of a Carfax?
I'm gonna get you one even better.
Okay.
Whew. So for that customer that wants to pretty much custom order their car, basically, is what you're doing. The general manager, Amin, and
Yes.
we go beyond Carfax.
Wow.
See, I've seen Carfax will report an accident, right?
Yes.
Or a theft, or sometimes a branded title, meaning the title of that car could be a salvaged car
Right.
or theft history, whatever the case is. Guess what Carfax don't report, guys? If the car is rusty.
Unibody damage.
That's a whole different claim. by
No,
itself.
salt and corrosion up under the bottom of that vehicle.
Absolutely.
If it's coming from a cold climate
Absolutely.
state.
Absolutely. And you can even be, even down in Florida, I've seen rust on cars.
Flood damage.
I've seen that.
Wow.
Never purchased one. Seen it. Like
Wow.
I'll go through every vehicle. Like I'm going to look at every picture. Keep in mind, this is where those analytical skills came in from the bank. We're going to see exactly what has happened to that car, the history of it. I'm going to call the service facility that has provided the last 3 years of servicing on that car, because I want to know, did they ever miss a service? They're very limited as to what they can share with me, but they can tell me things like, well, this person declined all the servicing. That's not the car for you.
Wow. So you guys actually go beyond the Carfax. You go
Absolutely.
deeper into the investigation of that specific type of vehicle that the client or the customer wants to purchase from you guys, because of course you want to keep that reputation superb. So you go beyond a Carfax, is what you state.
Beyond a Carfax, and we are actually a certified Carfax dealership.
Wow.
So that's great. We can provide that. That's appeasing to the eye. Oh, it's never been in an accident. Well, let's see. Where did this car originate? How many owners was it?
That's important.
What happened
as well,
during
too.
the ownership?
Yeah.
If it has 2 owners or 3 owners and it was repossessed on the second owner and then repossessed on the third owner, what does that tell you about the car? If the car was getting repossessed, were they servicing it?
I don't think so.
Sometimes.
I mean, because
95% of the
the
times,
car,
no.
Yeah, because the car got a lot of problems with it.
There it is. And I'll leave that car alone. It's like, when we're picking a car for any individual, we want that individual to be beyond elated with that vehicle. And I promise
To come onto this car lot expecting, like you said, this, but then they end up walking off the car lot with that.
So
Am I answering that?
No.
Okay.
That's something I definitely wanted to discuss.
Right.
So with that being said, it goes back to what I was telling you. What are you bringing to the dealership? Like energy, come and calm. First of all, you may not get the information that you were wanting that day. You may feel that because your score is a 700, you're going to get the lowest interest rate. That's not going to always be the case. It's people out here with a 630 that has missed payments, but guess what? They've gotten themselves back on track. The bank can see, they've been 7 months, no late payments. Okay, they have an auto loan that they're paying in, and they're about to trade that car in. Guess what?
Social media world. Malik D, your credit guru, the hit maker, the school. Over 50% of small businesses have been shut down due to the global pandemic. And the ones that are left still face closing down due to the lack of capital. During these times, personal credit as well as business credit is essential to being able to sustain your businesses through this pandemic. I'm pleased to announce my new product, the Elite Business Builder Credit Builder Platform. The Elite Business Credit Builder Platform is designed to help business owners obtain $50,000 to $250,000 in business credit for their businesses that is not connected to their Social Security number. That's your personal Social Security number. It's a platform that will walk you through step by step on how to properly set up your LLC corporations, business address, phone numbers, 411 listing, website, and EIN number with the IRS so the underwriters will not deny your loan. The platform will also show you how to get a free business DNB number, that's Dun & Bradstreet, a business credit report, And we'll even give you a database of lenders that will extend you thousands of dollars of credit to purchase office supplies, computers, fuel, and many other things your business needs to survive during this harsh economical climate. After about 120 business days of using the platform to build your business credit profile, you will get access to lenders that will lend up to $250,000 to your business just off the strength of your company's business credit profile, despite your personal credit. And if you have questions or you run into problems along the way, you will have your own business credit advisor to help you through. Normally, accessing this platform will cost you $10,000. But we are making it affordable to entrepreneurs, so either click the link below or in my bio to get started. And I will get back to you personally to walk you through the process.
I have only, since this pandemic, this is the first time that I've actually seen cars appreciate the way that they have. So yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more now for a car than you would have.
Wow. Now let me ask you about these luxury vehicles that I know for a fact. While we in this economic downturn, a lot of these luxury vehicles now are getting turned back into dealerships because they can't afford the payments on these luxury vehicles. And I heard that a lot of these luxury vehicles now are reducing in prices because individuals are turning them back in while we're going through this economic financial crisis because they can't afford the vehicles. Have you guys been seeing a lot of that?
I have been seeing it's a trend right now. It's definitely going upwards.
Let's take a quick break so we can pay the bills, and we're gonna get right back to this conversation.
Absolutely.
The score. Welcome back to the score, Brian Gregory. Let's jump back into this conversation about these luxury vehicles that are now reducing in prices, and a lot of these luxury vehicles that are getting turned back in from individuals that have purchased it that can't afford it now because of this economic downturn. And my question to you: are you guys experiencing a lot of that?
So here's the difference. Like, a lot of people will feel that when they can't afford their car payment, they're going to go and just drop it back off at the dealership that they purchased the car from. Don't do that. Just have the finance company come pick it up from your home, because that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go and search through a file, find out who did this person finance with, reach out to them. I have your collateral. Please come remove it from my facility. I have no need for it. I can't do anything with it because there's an open loan on it.
Wow.
So, yes, to answer your question, I'm starting to see where I have friends in the industry.
Yes.
They work at a lot of the larger facilities, and people are turning in. Guys, I'm going to tell you, somebody turned in a G-Wagon. Now, that's one of my favorite vehicles.
Wow. What was the situation on that G-Wagon?
Situation, well, spouse lost a job. First of all, you hear the word I use, job.
Yeah.
You need to be owning a company or doing something when you're about to spend $200,000+ on a vehicle.
Right. It used to be $200,000 and some thousand.
Now they're $300,000, and now they're doing good nowadays to get $180,000. See that?
Wow. So
Yeah,
it
so
was
some-
those prices of those vehicles was, it's
Market adjusted value.
Inflation.
Guys, when you're buying a new
It's
car-
another inflation situation with the vehicles. The car is valued at this amount, and it's not even really worth that. Now you're trading it in, or you're trying to get rid of it, and you're getting less. $189,000 is what you just said, right?
Oh, it gets better. So if you want to know what I'm talking about when I say market adjusted value, go to any new car retailer, especially that's selling high-end cars. If they're not a dealership with integrity, keyword integrity, you're going to see that bottom line, market adjusted value. Please tell me what the market adjustment is, because right now I don't think everybody's in the market to buy a $140,000 car.
Oh no, not especially with this economic downturn.
Why are you adding $10,000 and $20,000 to adjust the price? It's not an extra option. You're not going to get anything extra back when you get rid of that car. You're just giving away your money. It's unsafe.
Dan, how you view that as far as what he's breaking down about the G-Wagons being $200,000-$300,000, and now, when we in this economic downturn, this crisis that we get ready to go through and going through now, on how that's affecting our community, the Black and brown community?
Well, from a high-end standpoint, you're not going to find many of us in that community that can afford that car. But some celebrities and maybe some of the professionals.
Well, even celebrities are actually celebrities are actually turning in these vehicles too. I mean, don't believe the hype.
Right.
Don't believe the hype.
No, I know. A lot of people are. You look at cars and you look at people driving really expensive cars, and they're a paycheck or two away from having to turn them in, or just like being behind on their mortgages, losing their homes. So that's revealing. I did not know that about the car industry in terms of the inflation, hyperinflation. 'Cause
absolutely.
we see it in real estate. We've seen it in real estate over the last year or so.
And
but
even that has
the
even come to like the fruition of boom, it's exploded where now you don't have 20 realtors waiting outside your home to list it or show it to one of their clients or investors. Because guess what? Where I live, I ain't gonna put it all out there, but I'm seeing open house signs. So that's telling me that guess what? Your home is sitting on the market.
right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
we
these
see
are
it. See that.
very nice homes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it. Definitely.
So like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I didn't see an open house sign.
Well,
But
you
now-
know what? Because a lot of the hedge funds were going in and buying the high-end homes and like in your neighborhood or whatever,
Absolutely.
and turning
I've
them into
noticed that.
rentals or whatever.
And right, that's another thing. Like even with, that's another day.
Right.
Back to the automotive. I'm just, I could go on and on about, real estate as well too. I'm very well versed in that as well.
What would be some of your key advice to individuals in our community, the Black and Brown community, as they're moving forward to purchase an auto loan, especially with the rates being a little bit higher now?
One, establish a relationship with one of your local credit unions. I'm not going to name names, but there are more than enough credit unions you can walk into. If you don't have time to walk in, go online. Use Google. We use Google for everything else, right? Let's use Google. Credit unions, what it takes to become a member. They'll tell you a lot of them. You can, if you work in Mecklenburg County, if you worship in Mecklenburg County or reside.
And this is
That
national. This is not just in one key state.
Thank you.
The information that
Thank
you're
you.
giving about the credit union.
I'm just talking about North Carolina right now. But
Right.
guess what? This is anywhere in the United States. Get on Google. Find out what county you live in. Find out which credit unions are available in your county. Find out what does it take to become a member. Because once you establish a relationship, let me tell you something. There are people with, and you're going to follow up when I tell you this, 500 credit scores that I've seen get a 4.75.
Back then.
Interest rate now may be 5%.
With the credit union.
Yeah.
But it's a credit union
Right.
because they're looking at your relationship with them, how much money you have coming into them, what products and services that you are using that they are offering. That's what enhances your relationship with those institutions.
Relative to a bank.
Exactly.
You're better.
A bank, you are really. I'm keeping my own. I worked in banking. I worked in the retail part of it as well too. You are a number, and I'm not afraid to say that. You are a number. Take a number, wait in line to deposit your money. I'm going to put a hold on your account. That happens even at credit unions too, but at the end of the day, they're going to be a little bit more lenient to put your money into your account versus a bank, and we all know why.
Explain.
Well, that money, it's being a whole placed on it. I mean, if it's in our possession and we have more of it, it's making us more interest. What do you think?
I'm just saying explain because we're dealing with the Black and Brown community. You feel me?
I got you.
I mean, I'm on point with you, so I understand. I mean, hey, this is the score.
This is what you're getting. And I'm like, when I tell you, people, please be aware. You have search tools out here. You can find out a really good credit union. This is me plugging credit unions in every state of the United States.
Yeah.
Become a member of one because you'd be surprised.
The benefits are more different from a commercial bank.
Infinite benefits. I'm going to leave it at that.
Wow. Any questions you got for Brian, Dan,
No,
before we
that was-
close it out?
No, I think you pretty much covered all the major areas in terms of the just maybe the overall market. Do you see a major slowdown in, say, the luxury market relative to, say, the lower end, middle end, in terms of middle market cars? Do you think there's going to be in terms of the slowdown in the economy, it's going to be a bigger impact on the luxury end?
As scary as this
I mean,
may
it's
sound,
already taking place now, but I know the question was for Brian.
high end.
Yeah, but it's happening now. Go ahead, Brian.
as
like
scary
in
as
real
it
estate.
sounds, I can't keep luxury cars on my lot. Everyone wants to look like they have done well. And a lot of times, that luxury car sometimes, keyword sometimes, can be a symbol of financial excellence. Your home But really,
Smoke and mirrors,
Even
man.
though it could be-
financial
Smoke and
excellence-
mirrors.
Thank you. Financial
Smoke and
excellence
mirrors.
is them cards that's connected to that account in your wallet. That's that financial excellence.
Yeah, you're driving in something that exudes wealth, but then when you go back home or you reach down in your bank account, your quotes ain't matching your words.
You're
The
paying a
facade.
monthly service fee because you're not keeping those balances where they're supposed to be. But no, long story short, luxury cars are always going to be a thing. One, it's a better built product in most cases.
Right.
You can't even get some regular domestic imports that are well built anymore because people want you to come back. But no.
Like
Luxury
planned obsolescence the
Luxury
whole
cars
time.
are doing well. I mean, last month was a record month for us. The month before, over the top. Like, it's amazing. Heck, you were just there in my office. You saw the calendar.
I seen it. But the prices on these luxury vehicles are declining.
They are starting to decline, but here's the catch. It's for cars that are over $50,000.
Oh.
Cars that are under $50,000,
They're holding their
they're
value.
retaining their value because there are more people that can buy a car that's $25,000, $35,000, $40,000
Supply and
versus
demand, yeah.
an $80,000 car. First of all, $80,000 car, you got to be able to have $80,000 income and credit that's going to, withhold that type
Support
of
that,
payment
yeah.
and support it. Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Wow. Well, Brian, listen, it's been a pleasure having you on the Score podcast. And I think this is some information that our community definitely needs to tune into and apply it. So when they do proceed on to purchase a vehicle, they have a wealth of knowledge and information to be able to better navigate and making their decisions on how they gonna move with an auto loan purchase. With that, we're gonna go ahead and close out the Score. We'd love to have you back on this podcast as
It will
soon
be
as
my
possible.
pleasure to come
Definitely.
back.
And with that, peace out. The Score.
Yes, sir.